Yo, random. You're right. I don't know how to solve your problem with ads. I can't turn ads off. Not allowed. On a advertising platform, you cannot ever turn ads off. If I decide to, then they make decisions on how my ads show. Which they kind of do. They do by the beginning. The pre-roll. There you go. Pre-roll, that's what it is. The thing is, like, the mid-roll, I feel like, is way more annoying. Not only to manage, but, like, you have to stop what you're doing to show it. And the mid-roll ads are longer. No, I'm not trying to solve your problems. I don't have enough time for that randomness. I can barely solve my own problems. I just mean, it'd be nice if there was a way to manage it more nicely. Most people I see nowadays, they use, well, not most people, half and half use the mid-roll approach. I don't know. I was supposed to do RPG in a box, but I worked on AS all day and I actually feel like continuing. It's not that there's an ad, it's that it was the content. Yeah. I understand. I can't solve that either. Erectile dysfunction is a problem. To me, that's actually a sign that the platform maybe isn't making enough money on other revenue. Sort of like the Twitter effect. When you start seeing a bunch of ED ads everywhere, you kind of wonder maybe if it's not targeting, it's like the platform itself has erectile dysfunction. I don't know. I'm doing what I want today, yo. What do you think? So I don't have my glasses on. I don't know if I'll be able to read anything, but I guess we'll see. I don't know what I'm doing with my life when it comes to streaming. I worked all day, and all day, literally, except for lunch, and now, and dinner and stuff. Yeah, I know you say I should do what I want. But I used to like to work on streams assuming people actually cared what I did. And so what am I doing here? So let me see. Blah, 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 blah. We don't want this camera movement at all. We're going to decide where our camera goes. So let's just see if we can get this, this bugger going like I want. Then we're going to work on our custom camera controller. You know why we're going to do that? Because I feel like it. That's why. Because I am a jerk streamer that only does what I want. Just kidding. Actually, a lot of streamers that do what they want seem to do all right. Well, a lot is overgeneralizing. Randomness, tell me. What'd you do? Why are you up so late? Is that late for you? Did you guys sleep? Sleeping's good. You know what's funny? Actually, I do kind of like having the glasses. It's because the glare from the lighting is bright on my eyes, and the glasses actually offset it a little bit. Look at that. Oh yeah, my eyes feel way better. Yeah, can't solve that problem for you either. Okay, don't even think I'm gonna try this time. Not after the last time I tried to solve your problems. But really, randomness. I'm sorry to hear that. Allergies, for me, I forget the allergy season because I didn't grow up with allergies, personally. And now I'm like, why am I feeling sick? Why is my throat bothering me? It's like, oh, it could just be allergy. Every 20 seconds to blow your nose? Well, just let it, it's just like dripping everywhere. Like, the light is still a little bit bright. I didn't see the thing I wanted to see. Okay. I didn't see the thing I wanted to see when it happened. So it's just gonna like pop open and be at this. Boom. Okay. So I could just make it. I like the idea of slight movement. Like it kind of zooms out a little bit. It's okay. We'll get there. What is this? Game object has been destroyed. Ooh, I'll show you a game object that's been destroyed. Where are we? Stop current effect. Did the stop not work? Because it's on the map. But the effect manager's on the scene. Oh, must just because it was. I'm not gonna worry about it. Forget about it. Oh, did I never start? I never started Mix It Up. So connect, I guess. But I wonder if it's Mix It Up causing the weird like slow down on my browser. It seems to be. So Mix It Up has been the thing causing the problems with my browser. It's really been mixing things up, if you know what I'm saying. I'm not gonna get distracted. Once I started mix it up, it like buggers out on me. What do I need to do for Mix It Up? Overlay. Mix It Up is it's like a tool. Even tells me how many people are watching. Great. It's you, me, randomness. We're gonna have a party. No, a blender. It's like a mixer. Let me see here. So Mix It Up has an overlay. Somehow add overlay, import overlay. No, that's not what I want. Which channel? If I do 8-bit val, thank you. It won't work. Okay. So how do I do this? That's so weird. I'm not getting the weird issue. I'm not showing the mix-up thing just so it's not like visible. But they did recently do a change. So now I need to figure out, yeah, 8111. Okay, that's good. I should be able to refresh this then. Does it work now?
Thank you very much for the 777 biddies and telling me how much you love me through.
Gross.
Gross.
Okay, so that's fine. It's working. Now, did that cause my browser not to work? No. Weird. I don't know what that browser issue was from the past. Anyway, back to what we were doing. Breaking stuff and taking names. All right. So let's go back to our special camera controller. So I ripped off the existing Smile Game Builder's method of managing camera. But now I have like an external controller that I can use to manage my camera needs. But it's not really set up the way I want it to be. So we're going to adjust this a little bit. We have a method that takes game camera settings first I'm going to do something like, oops, public. This does have an instance. Oh wait, where's my instance? Maybe I don't have an instance. I should only have a single instance of this. So I think I actually have a singleton. Haha. I don't know if this will work at all, but I made a singleton for it. Okay, so we'll do a static method, I think. Public static get current camera settings. Oh, look at that. I mean, that's not bad. I can take it. What's up, Gavin? What you doing? Tell me about life, love, and the pursuit of happiness. Why don't I just do like... This is not ideal code yet. So var result. Problem is, if this doesn't exist, I don't want... I basically just want like a way to get default camera settings. So what I'll do... Where's my class at? That's not all what we're talking about. We were talking about singletons and how they are destined to be lonely forever. Oh, that's what the problem is. Yeah. Don't call you a singleton? We weren't talking about you as a singleton. We were talking about you. We'd say Gavin the singleton. Gavin the great singleton. We were generically talking about the family of singletons. There's a lot of them out there, but they're all on their own. Why is game camera settings not opening? Why is my IDE not intellicizing it? Make my code intelligent. Stop being unintelligent, code. Let's go get intelligent. I should turn off the... Want to figure out a valid purpose for them? I will develop doubletons. I'm not a singleton. I don't even know what that means. Is that like the derogatory term? There are doubletons. I'm certain, but if it's more than a singleton, it's called something else, like a factory or something, or a container. If it's not a singleton, see, I thought maybe you were making a play on simpleton, but I figured you were SMRT, smart, so I wasn't gonna say anything. Yo, Pixel, what's up, homie? I want to finish the thought, but if you want, I can show you the way I did my my file system stuff. I'm obviously not doing RPG in a box. I spent an entire day working on Alterium Shift, and got back to getting the stream going, and like, I just want to keep working on it. So, you know, what we're doing. What I need, though, is I need like a default camera settings. So what I want to do... How do people normally do that? There's a little, like, you know, the angel and devil? Well, one of them on my shoulder is a little wallaber. And the wallaber's like, Matzi, why are you overthinking everything? Just code. It's just little, like, why would you do that? Why would you worry about all those details? Public, I can make it like a property. I think that like the create default, if it's a property, because there's really no reason to make a getter if you've got properties, am I right? You just do this. Get off my properties. Wait. How's there not a tween type of ease out? Oh, it's because they're freaking... Hey, congrats. Tim Baudet saying, make a spreadsheet first. It's like, what you gotta do is plan everything out perfectly or just freaking code. Okay, so I've made a default. I'll fill this in with other stuff. Wait, but I also realized I need to have like a target height. Hold on, let me just finish a few thoughts here. Private camera target? Is it camera type? Camera target type? What is this thing? Yeah. Yeah. You. I don't know why I'm doing this. Sorry. So then I think I made like a target object. We have a game object, a character, and a hero. I'm holding out for a hero. You know what I'm saying? That's what I need. Target object and private map character, target character. And I think that's how I do it in here. Camera target, character target. Yeah, it's called character. So I should probably start with the word target. Why would I call it character target? It should just be target character. Sometimes I write code and I'm like, why did I do it that way? Here's like the little Walloper's like, no, don't refactor your code. Why? What just happened? Here's and then there's the see Matzi. This is why you don't refactor your code, because of things like this, Matzi. Look what you just did to yourself. How dare you? I don't even know where the error is. Is there what? This is lying to me. Oh. Ambiguous reference. How is this ambiguous? Is there more than one target character? Fudge. That's why it's called character target. Okay. That's fine. Let's undo it. J-Blow has got above your head saying everything is dumb and you should quit your day job as a web dev. You should not quit your day job is what I'd say. How can such a core work still be needed on a game that's already released? Early access, my friend. Okay, Pixel. Confirm you're still here. And I'll show you how my file system works. Oh, there you are. I need a zero. I'm holding out for a 0 till the beginning of the night. Gotta be flabby. He's gotta be fat. He's gotta be fresh. Guess I'm more out of loop than I thought. It's still early access. Okay. So, let me talk to you, Pixel, about file systems. Now, and I'm going to try to do this without, like, I can't share exactly how the Switch file system stuff works, because technically that's under their NDA stuff. but I can show you what I had to solve. So, however Switch access the file system, they have their own file system objects to do it. I'm sure actually I looked, you can Google some of it and you can find some of those answers, which is not supposed to be allowed, but whatever. And so if I go to like my save system, I think it's called, let's go to the save file. Okay, so originally all of this save system stuff I would just usually directly use file.write stream, because I think there's even like file.write Steam, right? But when you use a console, sometimes they have their own classes that they use for that. You can't just use the C# default file system, because not all of the things that adapt your code to the file systems of whatever thing you're using have an equivalent. And a really big one of this is like application.persistent path. This right here does not exist in Switch. It's in Unity for PCs, and Linux, Mac, Windows, whatever. But this path here doesn't exist. And when you try to access it on something like a Switch, it won't work because it's trying to look for something blank, because it'll just return blank or null. And it ends up trying to like create a file folder in a way it's not supposed to, and then it crashes. So in order to address this, I had to not use your base file classes in C#, and I made an adapter pattern. And I think I call it game file system. No. Yes. Well, here's what I did. I made a factory and I made a file system interface. And all I did is it took all the methods. Okay, to be fair, liberal use of ChatGPT with my own modifications. Because I'm like, here, I need to adapt this, make me the methods and whatever. So I just didn't have to write it all. So this literally just almost a direct one-to-one map of things you would call on directories or files. But I didn't want to get into like making a directory in a file. So I just made the file system handle the methods I needed to handle. And maybe that was a little bit too simplified, but you know, I do have Wallaber on my shoulder sometimes, telling me not to overcomplicate. I don't even know if he's ever used an interface in his code. So you can tell Wallaber is not quite as strong as maybe the Tim Bidet or Baudet. I said bidet, like, you know, the bidet, but I don't know how you say his name. Anyway, so in here in our file system, we also have a factory that's used to create a file system. And then we have all the different file system things we need. I only have 2 right now, but presumably if I had to do something for PlayStation, Tim Bidet, Baudet, PC game file system and Switch game file system. And then I have a couple of other associated classes. Baudet, or Baudet. Have you seen those like on Facebook? The guy's like, now we're going to do something easy today. We're going to work on the word freak. Or no, he spells it out. What's this say? And then the person's like, freak. Great. That means this word. They put the B in front of it. And the guy's like, break. He goes, no, it's break. See, because of the B. And then he goes down and like keeps putting different words up. And the student, which is himself, keeps trying to say it. Can't say it right. Because the English language is effing crazy. Okay, so we have a file system factory, and then we have like the game file system. This is for the PC. It is literally a wrapper for all of the file system stuff that you'd want to do. It uses directory and files, and so on. Bow is in bow and arrow. Baudet, yes. I did have to make a game directory info thing because there are things that you want to ask questions like how many files are in the folder and things like that. So I just literally wrapped it all. This is just, I mean, there's very little different. It's obviously going to be slightly more overhead than if I just directly use the methods, but not enough to make it matter. For the Switch one, I had to do a whole lot more work. Some of these methods take like, 30 or 40 lines of code because I have to deal with the files in the system and the setup differently. But it's all encapsulated in that one plan. And then in my file system factory, I literally just have this. I suppose there is another way you can look for a type of device. You could do like application platform. Oops. Right? But from what I recall, the reason that's not great is I think you have to have the files in your project for that platform. And if you don't, it'll error out. And because the proprietary nature of the Switch code, I actually don't have their packages on this machine that I share. I only have it on the machine that I build it on. And so I have to use this instead. So these flags will let it know that whether it can do whatever. So all it is a basic factory. It'll create file system. I get the file system, and then from that point on, I use it. So from the PC side, it's super simple. I just do right here. Once the save system is created, I create the file system once. Get rid of that stupid console log, and that's it. I had to go and refactor all of my code to make use of it, but it really wasn't as much refactoring as I thought. It actually took more time for me to get it working on the Switch than on PC because of all the little intricacies of Switch, and it's harder to test on the Switch than it is on PC. So I had a little bit of trouble like balancing these cloud folders and stuff like that, but otherwise it's fine. You worked on 3DS, yeah. I mean, it's a very, very simple pattern, right? And sometimes, like, I was reflecting on this today. There's a trade-off in game dev on how much work you want to spend doing things like this. But my only thought about this is, should I ever make another game, which would be my goal? Oh, hey, Captain. Oh, Captain, my Captain. I'll finish the thought. Should I ever make another game, I can reuse this. Whereas if I just wrote it custom every time, I'd keep having to write it custom every time. Hello, welcome. Don't know if people got... Sorry for the pre-roll. I am. Can you hear me, Captain? Or did you get stuck behind the pre-roll? I assume you got stuck behind the... Oh, you can. Okay. So, I don't see you. I can hear you, though. Okay, that's good. Like that. Like my glasses. I was wearing these as a joke because I got them at PAX. And because at the end of PAX, the other vendors just go and throw things at you. But it actually offsets the light in my eyes, which is kind of nice. I see you after refresh. Well, it's nice to have you all here. How was your stream, Captain? What'd you do? My stream keeps canceling. No, tell it to stop. I have pretty good kilobits per second. So, I don't know why it would be canceling on you. However, Captain, I hope you had a good stream. The teachery in you, were you teaching people how to be awesome? I hope so. Please do that as much as possible. Be as awesome as you. This is the game that I'm working on, Alterium Shift. I was going to work on something else tonight, but then I just felt like doing this. So, I'm glad it was fun. How goes your project? You can also raid and run. that's fine. Uni is already up to 6, yes. And this version I'm on is 2022.1 2022 something. 0.1.23f or something. I keep trying to upgrade it, but then I go through the whole process, I get it running, but I'm like trying to prep a release, and so I let it slide, and then I'm like, oh, now I don't want to go. Like, I'm just a little nervous because it would, I'm sure it'll break something. Unit 6 just came out. Hey, see? Gonna get back to playing AS. I have a few in the backlog I need to get through. It's okay. We are working hard on the next batch of releasing, but I can't really talk more about it right now. 2022 is only one version behind 6. Is that true? Is 6 just 2023? Yeah, do you have a Steam game, Gavin? Did you actually release it on Steam? 2023 was renamed to 6, so whatever they had is their stable version. Share your link. Hopefully it's not like a joke. Sometimes with you, Gavin, I'm not 100. I don't think you've ever played a major prank or anything, but sometimes like, you gonna sock pets? Oh wait, did you? I think you might have talked about something like this before. Weren't you like showing me some pictures or something? What is this? Oh, you use you use ChatGPT for it. And it's released introductory offer. So wait, you just launched an actual follow add to your wish list. I must be connected. For dialogue. Hey there, little fishy. Wasti Socks Pet Go. Talk. Man, I can't talk now. The captain rated me and it's just my brain stopped working. I feel like you might have shared a picture with me. Something about this feels familiar-ish, but I don't know what. I think you were starting to work on it. You like shared something you were working on, but I don't remember this one. It's a desktop pet simulation where you can care for and interact with plush pets. All right, have good dinner. Thank you for the raid, Captain. I'll try to take care of your good people unless they, move on. I get it. You finish watching the stream, like, okay, time to go somewhere else. Usually I go back to work. That's what I do. That's awesome, Gavin. Congrats on launching. For anyone who stuck around, totally random, but for our game, my daughter used what is this called again? It's like felt stuff, whatever. Like, yeah, it was like felting, and she made a Alterium Shift amulet for my 11-year-old daughter. That was great. I have an actual amulet around here, but I don't know where I put it. Well, actual as in 3D printed, not like made out of metal. Needle felting, yeah, where you like poke it. Pixel, I think if you're still here, I think I answered your question though about how my file system works. I was just showing someone how I had to make my own version of the file system, my wrapper for the file system, using what's called the adapter pattern. Because when you do console development, there's usually there's some proprietary system for managing the files. And it is really simple, Pixel. And the one thing that I would say, this is where I go back to that back and forth of, should you write code using proper patterns and practices, or should you just write stuff to get things working? I really hate going back and reworking code. I hate it so much. I don't like to go back and have to reread it and change it. Unless I've already created a structure, I don't like doing it. Oh, hey, Beer Circuit. I don't know how to say your name. Apologize. Thanks for the follow. I fixed your bugs today. I fixed your bugs. In fact, I think I fixed your bugs. I think I figured out what was happening. It's going to be hard to test, but I'm pretty sure it'll be fixed. Beer Circ, but the German word? Okay. Not Berserk, but Berserk. So let me see if I can do this. I'll show you all what I'm working on as well. Right. So you were mentioning issues with these bestiary images, right? So first off, the reason that you were seeing duplicates is that some of these characters are actually 3D characters, and we haven't solved the 3D problem, which means we hadn't made something that would show like the 3D object or a picture of it. I've solved it now, but part of the problem was when it didn't find the picture, it would just use whatever the last one was. And I think it got stuck in some kind of loop where it would never show.
Marcus. You knew I want to be
Thanks,
a rock
Nightfall.
star. There's too many rock stars in the world, but only one of you, Marcus.
Legendary White Fault. Hey, Nightfall. So one of the issues was this. It wasn't finding an image, but it would show like whatever the last one was. So if it was lizard, it would keep showing the lizard. And I don't know, like I think it got stuck. Like something got stuck in a never-ending loop. I'll bet you check the bestiary a lot and this build-up of all these different things trying to get the images built up, and it would stop working. I like how the bandit leader is so huge. Well, he is the leader, so he should be bigger, right? But I also, by the way, hate the way this scroll works, but I'll let it go for now. But I did solve the problem. So we just have to go and add all the images. So like all we have to do now is just get flat images that we can add to it. It's been something I've been just kind of putting off dealing with. But once we put all those images, it shouldn't be an issue anymore. Randomness. I was reading some book that said a common practice in development was a quick, fast fix for the next release and a proper, thorough one later. I don't think going back and refixing is as popular as they made it seem. I was just showing you that presumably it will be fixed. I hope. I did fix the rock thing too. Man, that forest thing had so many issues. I spent a lot of time on that today. What I'm working on today is our fast travel system. Yeah, that one was easy. The forest one with the rock was not. Because it turned out I had done something fundamental in the code that I hadn't touched for a while. So you found it, which was great. But it took me a while to fix that. Just to get that boulder not to be walked through was hard. So this is the fast travel system. Boop, 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 boop. And I can go, I want to go to Gilberry Shores. Phew. As far as like visually what's going to happen, I'm actually going to be working on improvement to that. But for the moment, it's just keeping it simple. And yeah, that's our fast travel. So tonight I was starting to work on camera stuff, and thankfully, as usual, I'm completely distracted. And going back to my approach to development, I'm a slower developer, and I have mixed feelings about being a slow developer because I like to methodically create structure to manage. And that goes back to, again, fast versus somewhat structured. So I try to balance like somewhat structured with getting things done. And that's where like I do have to go back and refactor, but it's not quite as painful because, I actually have some baseline I can build off of. And so what I have learned is that I can actually manipulate the game camera. Wait, what am I doing? Result. I can actually manipulate the game camera more than I thought I could. Before you say, but it's Unity, of course you can manipulate it. Yeah, except I'm using an engine called Smile Game Builder underneath. It has an export into Unity, so I'm using their code. I have all their code in Unity in C# because this is a C# project or C# application. But this is like their editor. It's like a whole application, but they just shoved it into Unity. And the way they manage the camera is different. So I can't just say, get the camera, adjust the camera location, because their code aggressively manages the camera. But now I figured out how to aggressively change some of those settings. Hopefully. So we're going to do var current scene. Can I do this? I think I can do this. No, I can't. So I have to do... No, I think I can do this. We'll see. I think this will work. All right, sleep well. I hope that your allergies don't mess you up too much. Yeah, the fast travel, I wanted to make it sort of like Secret of Mana, where you get shot out of a cannon. We're going to work on the how fast it moves and the feel of it. If I'm being honest, I ran into something that annoyed me so much, I actually stopped. Oh, no. What is the thing? Uh-oh. I don't like it when I annoy people, well, in general, but also for the game, because I want people to enjoy the game. Well, sometimes I like it, but only when I'm doing it on purpose. What was the thing that happened? Or did you post it already? Is it something I can fix now, or is it something... We really don't want people to be so disgusted with something they're like, I can't stand this stupid thing. Oh, is that still there? Oh, okay. I'll fix that tonight then. We'll go look at it tonight. We'll fix it. We'll fix it now. What are you talking about? We're gonna go fix this crap now. Let me go look at it. Hold on. Hold on. I mean, I won't be able to deploy it right away, but I could get it into a beta branch. Where is this thing at? Gilbury Shores West. Stuck on a black screen when loading the area. Okay, let's go take a look. So this is an issue currently. Well, you know what? Let's go fast travel to Gilbury Shores. There is one slight little problem with this, which is the character I have right now for fast travel is technically they're still in Summiton. I just like moved Atlas. I fast traveled Atlas to this spot, which means that his like all his quests and stuff are not the settings are not where they should be. So Gilbury Shores West. Oh, I think I know what the problem is. I'll find out. Wait, how did you lose progress though? Did it not have autosave? Wait, because you should have like a bunch of autosaves, right? Or you should be able to like quit and come back, or does it stay black afterwards? Well, now I have to find out. Am I supposed to be able to be down here? Weird. Oh yeah, where am I? I don't know, right? This is the town? I didn't realize there's that much of a run up to the town. Oh no! Oh no! Oh man. This one. Man, that pisses me off. Sorry. Well, yeah, but you should be able to reload your save and come back. But it is very crappy that this is happening. So something's missing a key. What is this? Variable condition. Check variable. Fuck. That's embarrassing. I'm really pissed about it. You know, it just feels like you can't ever stop bugs from happening, and I wish it were easier than that. All right, what do we got in here? Something went missing. Have Marion? Marion. Madam Librarian. Found Gilbury Boulder. Conditions. The spoiler alert, by the way. Object, current target. That should be okay. It's going to be one of these checking of conditions, but I don't know which one. Check variable branch. Let's find out. That's part of it. No, battle crab. It's just a battle. Battle crab. The given key was not present. It's definitely within check variable condition, though. Oh, man. I feel really bad about this. We do make these assumptions that things are working fine when we're not hearing complaints. And when we hear some, we're like, oh, we just went through PAX and people were playing all this. It's like, clearly, obviously, there wouldn't be any problems here. Stop thinking that. Is this it? Is this what's happening? No, it can't because there's no variable condition there. Of this current target. So what else could be doing that? Can't be here because this would be. There's nothing connected to this thing. Nothing connected to this thing. That's like. Is it having an issue referencing the current target? So this is where it's having an issue. Comparisons. Wait, what? The given key was not present in the dictionary. So let me just. I think I'll just put a debug breakpoint here. Find out what's going on. I didn't get to this one today because I assumed it was like that locking issue. I should have looked at it first. So I'm like, oh, I'll just get to it at some point when I go down the list. To be fair, the other ones took me more time than I thought. Understandable. Like I said, it made me kind of mad that day, and since I seen the post about it, I feel still in progress. Yeah, it was a busy week, so I was trying to get caught up this weekend. So, but are you saying that you completely lost your saves too? Because there should be an autosave system that's happening regularly. Like every map you're going to should be autosaving. If that's not happening, it's also I gotta. There's this weird thing where like Unity and the debugger get out of sync, so I have to like quit my Unity and reopen it. Well, the one thing I'll say is there's nothing there that you need to see at the moment, not for early access. It's more of a after the next phase of the game, there'll be more reason to go there. So it's more if you want to explore, that's why you'd want to go there. Not to say you shouldn't. I'm just saying there's nothing really. There's nothing you're going to get there that's going to make it like you're missing out on anything. But that's a big problem. We're going to have to get this patched pretty fast. That makes me a little nervous because I've been making some changes in the system. But I haven't been making anything that should mess with the overall game. Okay, so let's go debug this thing and see what happens. It's weird because you watch other streamers that work on certain projects and they're like, oh, here's this one thing that's happening with this one part, and once you fix it, it's good. But with this game and the way you set up maps and, you know, an RPG where you just have like sequences of events that happen when you go to a specific map, trying to test all that stuff is a lot. I'm not making excuses. I'm just acknowledging it's a little challenging. And it was my saves, just some progress that I hadn't saved. Yeah, no, I'm not saying you shouldn't be mad. I get it. I was just hoping that you didn't lose like all of your progress. In the early day of early access, we didn't have multiple autosaves, and we got some negative reviews because someone played the entire first part of Act 1. They got to the end of Act 1 and where that node is, and they chose to go back as another character, and it overrode their autosave. I don't think we even had them split out by character at the time. Or something. It was something like that. Or they chose their same character and it overrode their autosave, and they never once manual saved, so they lost everything. And they were pissed, and they played within 2 hours, so they, refunded the game and gave a negative review, and it haunts me to this day. It's like, I can't do any, and I even reached out to the person like, hey, I'm willing to give you a key if you'd like. I apologize I apologize for the issue. Appreciate your feedback. We've made some changes to address this concern. But once you lose people, you lose people. The attention-based economy. Once you've lost someone's attention, it's hard to gain it back. But darn it if I'm ever going to try. It's I have to care about how things are going, but if every single piece of negative feedback was something I took personally, I wouldn't be able to do anything. Like, well, time to give up. Can I just go back to my autosaves? Okay. See, it autosaved for me. At least I got back to this spot. I wonder if your autosave didn't autosave fast enough, though. Okay, so I'm going to turn off that. Oh, no. It's going to keep doing the comparisons. How am I going to test this? I guess I could try to do like, as the map is loading, I could try pausing it and go and putting the breakpoint in there. Ooh, come on, we got this. Okay, pause. Maybe I can do that. I might sneeze. Oh, I'm gonna sneeze. Okay, I sneezed. Let's see. So this one should be fine. That's equals. That should be fine too. I wonder what ends up being null then. Because these are just mathematical comparisons. So it could be one of these actually that's failing. You know what I could do? I wonder if this will, if I just hit play, if it'll go to the error. It says it's this. Okay, so this is going to be harder to catch than I wanted it to be. But what is it, like, what is it catching that's a failure? Check variable condition 139. What it's implying that it's the comparison that's the problem. Oh, okay, well then why don't I just go look at the comparisons? I just wish I could figure out what frickin' node it's in. I don't have a good way of doing that though, unfortunately. Maybe it's time to enhance my system. Everything still stopped? Why is it? Come back. Come back to me. I don't know why it's not giving me all the other things. There you go. All right. So is player near? That shouldn't be it. Because it's check variable condition. There's check variable, object, local variable equals. So that's compared, defined. Oh, is that what it is? Some quest. Okay. Yeah, well. I mean, then you can't finish that quest for sure. And that's a problem. Okay, let's see here. Conditions. Conditions. Equals. Equals. Where could it be? There's not that many notes here. It can't be that bad, right? Surely you can't be serious. I am serious. Oh my goodness. What if I could blame Jacob for this? I might have actually been the one that did this. Oh no. Oh man, I'm so embarrassed right now. Okay. I thought I had it so it would automatically fill that value. How would that value even become null? It's not supposed to. It's supposed to default to equals. I must have done something weird. Can't be that bad, right? Well, the worst part though is if that's the problem, like the scope of the problem, the actual problem is a drop down. Oh good, it's still broken. Perfect. But I just fixed it, didn't I? Unless there's more than one. Let's go see if there's more than one of those. That says equals. They do it here too? No? Doesn't have any conditions. Maybe what I should do is if it doesn't... there's this weird feeling I have. Like, I would kind of like it to just automatically pick one. But at the same time, that's going to cause weird results too. But it won't crash the system. So then what I want to do is if variable comparison a string? What is? Okay. If is null or empty. Is it debug.break? So we're gonna force only if it returns null. So maybe I can hunt down exactly where this is happening. In many ways, I do kind of like fixing bugs more than new development. I do like new development, but I feel like I can, when I go to fixing bugs, like I can just knock them out. Like boom, 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 boom. So I guess it's good they're easy to fix. The problem is like stupid crap like this shouldn't happen, right? If it's that easy to bring down an entire map because I didn't freaking fill out the drop down, that means there's some fragility there that needs to be addressed. I just don't know the best way to address that because there's sort of an anti-pattern, anti-quality issue that comes up where if you try to force it to be something, even though it needs to have a user input, then you're going to get other problems. Like other things will behave weirdly and differently. So it doesn't necessarily solve the problem of a human doing something wrong when they set up the code or the application. So in some ways, it's nice that it's fixable fast. I'd almost prefer to have something during like testing or something that can just confirm all of these nodes have value. Oh, I could do validation on it. Let's see. Make it required. So that if it's required, it would put a little node up. That would be at least more useful than what it is now. That's not where I wanted to go. Oh, look at that. Exception. Low level native input runtime. That's weird. Look what happened. The finger stopped moving. All right. Let's see if we can get there. I guess we'll have to patch this week if we can. Ooh, that's so. Where are we? Where's my debug breakpoint? It's supposed to be hitting the debug. It's interesting that I'm seeing the map, but apparently this is not working that way. Okay. That's dumb. Oh, wait. Actually, you might. Nope. Okay, we'll try again. It's like with an electrician building it from scratch, nice and easy, but figuring out the problem, fixing them is masterclass. Yeah, like troubleshooting is a key aspect of any job, but an engineering job. It's great that you could build something, but you could build anything if you have instructions, right? But being able to assess and like process how it works and read existing code. I mean, really one of the maxims I try to follow, especially when I'm teaching developers about coding, is greenfield development is fun, but learning how to read other people's code is clutch. Most developers aren't as good at reading as they are writing code. And so typically they'll be like, oh, I'll just write it myself first, because they don't want to deal with it, with like reading something else. But reading other people's code is like the thing you need to be able to do. Or your own code, for that matter. Okay, so what is this thing here? What is the character? Character is... There's a GUID, there's a graphic, but there's no name? Why is there no name for this? Oh, boulder. It is the boulder. What? I changed it. The debug break was just a pause instead of an actual debugger. Okay. Copy paste, yeah. Well, I'm not as stringent about copy paste as I used to be in my younger management years. It's weird that this is happening though. Is it just not saving properly? It might not be saving properly. This is the boulder. Unless there's something else in here that is like not finding. Apologies for the long build time. This is another joy of using Unity and C#. It's really a C# problem combined with Unity. But the way Unity works and how they have all these assemblies and the way they do their serialization, it just, if you don't set up the project right from the start, you end up with these forever build times or compile times. Okay, let me go see if there's another. There might be another condition along this line. I mean, I'm not seeing any other conditions. It really seems like it's just that node. Why is it? I might have to delete the node? Start over? Want to. No conditions here. That's empty. That's one item. Compare is equals. Maybe it's looking at all these ones for some weird reason. Somehow the compare just got set to something else. Okay, we'll try this one and see if it works. I might try to quit Unity and reopen it. It could be some weird caching thing that's hanging on to that value. I don't know why it would be, though. It should be taking the value I just changed it to. I'm really glad you came on, though. Because I think I was going to look at that ticket tomorrow, but I wasn't thinking of it as a major issue. Goes to show you, you should really double check issues before you write them off. Okay, we're going to also, just for S's and G's. Yes! Okay, so it was just some weird saving issue. Although this should not be here. Spoiler alert. This is not a place you should be able to get to yet. Why is it all black? This does not look correct. That's weird. I think there's some issue with the map. That's weird. Okay, anyway, so, well, now I got to fix the other issue, which is there should be a boulder there. All right, what do we got? So what we want is if... Oh, how do you say not equals? How'd that happen? What is going on? Okay. At least we solved it. We'll stop the debugger. BG Souls, is this graph tool custom for the game? It looks awesome. Yes, thank you. It is custom. Awesome is your mileage may vary. I use a tool called Xnode. Xnode. Here it is. The open source package. And the reason I went with this was, first off, the Unity Bolt and all the other visual scripting systems just seem hopelessly complicated. So I did some research, and then you'd have to buy an asset for these other ones, and the Bolt system is just like a lot. And I didn't want a coding system where I wrote basic functional logic in nodes. That wasn't what I was intending to do. What I wanted to do was have this equivalent of what we call, I'm like mapping an existing engine in Unity. And I wanted their commands and all their stuff to work, but in a sort of a flow-based way. So all these are like custom built nodes. I just made a baseline node structure and I built off it. I also have, I'm using Odin Inspector, which the reason I'm saying like your mileage may vary is because the draw cycles on this in the editor are insane. So one of the reasons why everything gets blank at this point is I had to add something that covers all these nodes up, because if it's trying to draw all the items from this view, these are all little mini inspectors, it gets really slow. So, you know, it's a bit complex, but it's not meant to be like a logical, you know, basic coding structure. It's supposed to be more high level command based. Do you guys use some Spot? Oh, do you guys have some Spot that's meant not to be accessible for us in map, where you kind of test stuff and have models and something like that? People find that stuff in really big games. So I was wondering, yeah, we do for sure. I'll show you some. Hey, look, it's here. Okay, no boulder. Where's our boulder? Oh. Wow, I can't believe I messed this one up that badly. We have lots of test spots. I can actually show you in the Smile Game Builder one, because some of these things are in Unity too, but you can only get to them if you can actually literally warp there. So we have like, this is the old one. We have like an asset test map. I guess he's still using it because there's some like, look at, there's some of our new characters. The same, the main characters, but reswizzled to be more epic. And here's all these different things. Like here's some tutorial graphics and stuff. Here's a big tree. It's just like a test of an area. Here's Old Town. This was the first summiton that Jacob made, my partner. This is what summiton originally looked like. And then he kind of, I don't know why he moved. He just felt like he wanted to do it differently, so he did. What else we got? Here's a snow, the little snow land test when he was working on the snow tiles. Here's one that we haven't ever even done anything with yet. A garden. Old temple, when we were originally working on the water temple and he was just testing out concepts. Yeah, we got lots of those. Oh yeah, no problem. It's not so bad, especially these days, because you can chat GPT a lot of your questions. I found it really useful. The problem is you have to roll your own like runner and stuff. So you got to make your own node runner that will say, oh, you know, what do I do when we hit, you know, how do I trigger the node to start running, and then what do I do when I traverse each node. So it helps in my case that I've hooked into an existing sort of running system, and I'm just sort of executing commands or creating commands and shoving it in. But it is a lot more if you roll your own solution, right? What I like about it is, unlike things like Bolt, these nodes are scriptable objects, which incidentally slows down your compile time, but you can make changes at runtime. So if I'm testing out cinematic sequences, I don't have to like keep quitting and restarting the app. I can just make a change and test it and like reset something within the game. Which is a lot nicer for iterating on testing dialogue sequences and stuff. You can just make you can't technically save scriptable objects while the game is running, but it doesn't go away and you can save it afterward. Okay, so what I wanted to do is go here. It will not be hidden down here. It will be collidable right there. The condition is... Oh, I see. The problem is it needs to just be visible. I didn't set my states right here. But this should be not equals. This is correct. This is when you've opened it, basically. So it needs to be hidden and not collidable. In here, this is a default. It needs to be collidable and not hidden. So that's actually right. Not equals, local variable doesn't equal 1. Okay. So then we find the boulders. This is, you can find the boulder at any time. Why is it not showing them? Is it just... I need to give it the... Let me go look at Bilberry. Exactly what I need. I've wanted to make some node tools, but the GraphView API scares me a little. Yeah, you won't have to do that part. And so I'll show you this actually. There's two ways that you can, multiple ways you can install Xnode. They have an asset on the asset store, but you can also just do, like you can do a git install. So if you go to like your, you might already know how to do this. So if you don't know, then I'm great. I'll tell you. But if you do know, then anyone else who doesn't know will learn. So in your package manager, you can actually add packages from Git. So you could just plug in the Git URL and it'll pull the package in. I think that's available to everybody. I might have had a plugin for that. I can't remember. However, I found I needed to mess with the underlying code of Xnode. So I gave up on trying to use it as a package. Oh yeah, go have some sleep. Thank you for calling out that issue and telling me you got mad. Because it's going to be fixed, and I apologize for that problem. I will be sending some updates when I get it out into our beta branch, which is our pre-launch branch. So you'll be, if you want to get access to that, it's available to everybody that has early access. I'll send the note to you so you can get past the part where you're stuck. Sorry about that. I hope that you sleep well. So what were they saying? Oh, I was talking about Xnode. So it's just like story. Let me go to my like base note and stuff. There's like story node here. These are my nodes. But if I go into like the Xnode system here, I just never remember where I put it. I actually created a vendor folder and I just put their files here. It's an open source project, so you could make enhancements to it and push it back in there. But I found I needed to tweak the underlying code, and you can't do that if you just get it as a package from Git. So I just moved all the code in here so I can mess around with it. But then you can see how it used the graph, like the window graphing view and stuff. I don't know if it uses GraphView or something else, but I can't remember. But you can see how everything it fits together. And make your own, for that matter, if you ever want to. It's all good. It happens. I overreacted a little because it was way too sleepy. No, that's fine. I get it. And I'm glad that you gave us a chance and you came back and told me. It's a little crushing when things don't go well and then people are like, screw these developers. How dare they? Like, I care. I do. I'm not just trying to get your money. I do care. I want the thing to work. I wish I was perfect. I try. You don't have to try. Actually, you do have to try so hard. What was I going to do? I'm going to go look at Gilberry. I usually use Smile Game Builder because it's easier for me to see. This is like what originates the data. I don't ever work in Smile Game Builder. I don't make any changes in this. I just use it to look at what's there. Just so I can see the maps and I can see like certain things, because this is the better editor than what's in Unity right now. Let's see, Gilberry Shores West. There we go. Okay, so it is there. Why is it not? Why is the default not working? I guess I can just find out the name of the graphic. So it's Boulder 03. Okay, so if I can just go here, I think it's just a map object, right? Side note, for those interested in Xnode, I will point out this stuff I have right here, a lot of work. Odin Inspector provides some of this stuff, so it was really just about getting the layout and the pieces in place. I didn't have to like really hand code the whole layout, but it still is a lot of work. Okay, so I think maybe for some reason it just lost the graphic. I'm guessing. I mean, other than the fact that you couldn't even get to that section. But I wonder if we need to find a better way to notify people about what's going on with the game when we have bugs and stuff. Wait a minute. I just noticed this. Hopefully this will work. Does this say Thor Brickstead? Is Thor Brickstead the one who made this library? It says Six City. This is Thor Brickstead. This is the pirate coder guy, right? Well, no wonder he doesn't support this shit anymore. Well, I think he does some stuff on it. That's hilarious. Isn't that the pirate coder guy? Or is that someone else? Maybe it's not. I don't want to look it up. Oh, Thor Hall. Oh, I just remember the word Thor. Okay. Never mind. I mean, clearly I don't know much. I'm not. Well, there you go. Now I've just outed myself as not knowing anything. Thanks, Gavin. I just thought Thor Brickstead was... I guess I've seen him in the X-Note thing, but I thought I'd seen it the name other places. Okay, there we go. So let me just, God, I cannot believe, but I can't believe that issue's been there. How many people just like said, oh, screw this game, it's broken, and just YOLO'd out? Ugh, my heart. It's like, ignore save state because we don't care about that because this will just set itself. Then we have settings, hidden, not collidable. Perfect. Okay. Well, that bug is fixed. Also, this is fixed and will be working on patch, data branch, and hopefully that stuff has to get out ASAP. Crap. Well, that was a fun little adventure. But we fixed the bug, so that's good. In process. Okay. I'll go back to whatever I was doing now. What was I doing? I was working on camera stuff. So the extent of my actual progress on camera stuff is non-existent. Perfect. I made a camera settings thing. I made a camera settings thing that's not set. I don't even put like my default values in here. I don't even know what they are off the top of my head. I think I have them somewhere in like the script builder. I think it's in here. Reset camera. These are my default settings here. But this is like the SGB default settings. Theoretically, I could have like a configuration somewhere, but I'm okay with hard coding it in this case because the camera angle is what creates the oh crap. Get the values for this. The camera angle is what creates the look for the 2.5D. here. Move you over here. So X angle is negative 32. And the angle. Yo, sympathy. What's up? How goes the game dev? You know, sympathy, you're delightful. Because you're a lamp. How's your lamp face treating you? 0. Field of view is going to be 60. That's quite a field of view. Distance 5. Movement duration 0, because the default camera settings, we're just going to say we reset it immediately. Don't really care about the tween type. And don't really care about rotate direction either, but we'll just leave it there. And then this is going to be camera control mode normal and target. Where's all the... Oh, there they are. I'm one happy lamp. How goes the game? I'm slacking off. See, you know what I started playing recently? Simply remember when you called my randomness red flag? Well, buddies now, right? Lamps have bad memory. I'm playing... There's nothing I can... I'm playing this. I had to not play it today. I played like a couple maps today. A couple battles. Because I wanted to. But I couldn't play today because I had to work. I worked all day. On Alterium Shift. I'm playing Into the Breach, baby. I've always I don't usually play RPG tactics games, but I used to love Advance Wars. Oh, Toke, you hated Into the Breach? Well, that's because there weren't enough physics in it. But I loved Advance Wars on the SNES. No, Game Boy Advance. On the Game Boy Advance, that's what it was. And so it's very reminiscent of that type of game, but more condensed. It's also really hard. But I also liked FTL a lot. So, you know. The default is going to be camera target type hero. Oh, have you not played Into the Breach? Team Fortress Tactics, is that what that is? Because it's so casual, I can play it in chat and Twitch. What's TFT? Is that what you mean? What's TFT? Two fat toggles? Team fight tactics. Oh, so it is a tactics game. Oh, is it League of Legends? Or is it like League of Legends? No, it can't. Oh, this thing. I've seen this before. This one. Into the Breach is FTL meets Tactics because it's by the same people who made FTL. So, I will be honest. Part of my thought, because I named my channel, my title Grab Bag, because I wasn't sure if I wanted to do the voxel, the RPG in the box stuff. But I was like, maybe I'll play Into the Breach tonight. But that would be insane. Because it's harder. It's league-based. Okay, it's like tactics, right? I've seen it. Yeah, but you did not like Into the Breach because it was too breachy for you. God, I love it when I start to stream and think, okay, tonight is going to be the night I focus. Okay. This is it, folks. This is the focus night. We're getting shit done. I mean, I fixed the bugs. That was important, actually. That was a legitimately important thing to get done. any other one here? We'll worry about getting rid of that ternary operator in a second. Oof. Okay. My back itches. Oh, I need like a little back scratcher or something. Ugh. What you devin now? Oh, let me show you actually. I don't think there's anything important. Should really get rid of my my debugger because it's gonna make my compiles slower. I need a back scratcher. I don't have a long something that I can shove down my back. Let's work. It's like right in, you know that spot that itches right in your back that you can't reach? Always that one spot. Body's like, haha, here's this one spot you can't reach. This is the one I'm going to make itch. So on Tuesday I made the remade the fast travel system. Because we have some, like, boop. So we don't have a lot of targets right now, but this is just more me getting the functionality in place. So I made the whole system where I can define locations and have targets. So whatever I want, it'll go to those. And right now I'm working on the camera because I figured out in Smile Game Builder code how to usurp the camera to do whatever I want. So now that I know how to abuse their camera, I'm trying to make a my own camera controller, because slowly what I'm really trying to do in this engine is extract out from their core code that is really inefficient into things that I can do more efficiently. And one of those things is camera management. And now I know how I can do that. So I'm trying to make a generic camera controller I can use to mess with their stuff. Yeah, well, I'm trying to not make it a rabbit hole, but that's almost impossible. So wait, so let's check this out. Okay, so here it goes. I want to go to Gilberry Shores. Okay. So the things that are I haven't worried about animating, right? So the animation I want is something slightly different how the camera moves, and I want it to dive down into the map, kind of like Secret of Mana, where you get shot out of a cannon. So how that works right now visually is just right now it's a placeholder. And all the pieces around it. I focus first on functionality before I worry about how pretty something is. I'm more about a function over form, because I feel like the form can be sort of tweaked around the function. I'd rather do that than try to make the function work with something that's pure form. Although I know you in video games you do need to make things that look cool, something. Sympathy, earlier I was talking about how I have a little Wallaber on my shoulder. So it's the angel and devil. But the Wallaber is the one saying, no, Matzi, don't think ahead too much. Just write the code. And then there's another one on my shoulder. Someone said it was Tim Baudet, but I'm not sure if it's Tim Baudet. I don't know him well enough. But there's some other one on my shoulder that's no, you must write the code perfectly and to make sure you follow programming patterns and write things well. And you might as well take the time now to do it. And, they're always arguing with each other. But my little Wallaber is not quite strong enough in voice to convince me to leave ternary operators in the code. Distance equals. I'll just do distance by default. I don't care. Oh no, it's going to be current scene.dist is all I want. I don't even need to. Whatever the distance is, it'll be that. Yeah, so maybe it's not really like a devil. It's like a muse, right? Or like a little jester dancing around in my head. It's not completely true. I do listen to the little Wallaber in my head sometimes. Just not enough, not as much as I should. It's like I acknowledge it and I still go do it my own way. And I'm like, why does Wallaber always write stuff that's almost perfect? And I sit here struggling. I'm more Wallaber for sure, yeah. And I was saying I'm a slower coder because I don't want to write code that I have to go back and rewrite a bunch. I'm a way too creative brain side. I can't relate to wanting to plan things. Well, no, but here's the thing. Okay, but listen, because I was talking to Wallaber about this. I was talking about when I go to stream, how I don't feel like I don't have a plan, right? Like Wallaber plans more than I do for his stream. He thinks about the features he's going to implement, and he sits down for a stream, and then he freaking implements them, right? That's what he does, which is just freaking amazing. How he can just sit down and like, code. Here's my solution. I am very much like, I generally know what I want to work on, but I don't know how I'm going to get there. The reason that he thinks that I'm a planner is because as I'm writing something, I'm like, oh, wait, no, I got to do this, and I got to do that, and I got to do this, and I got to do that. And so then I start like, instead of doing the thing I'm supposed to be doing, I'm building all the tools for the thing I'm supposed to be doing. And not generally not making much progress. So with Wallaber, you go to watch the stream and you see him producing results. By the end of the stream, you're like, here's the 5 things I got done. And with me, it's like, here's some code that kind of almost works, but I still have more work to do. And maybe by next stream, you'll be able to see what I was trying to do, but you're not going to see it on stream because I have to go think about it. If I would only do game dev systems and be a game design. I would only do gameplay systems and be a game designer and then work with good programmers. Yeah, I don't know what I would do. If I never had to see the code, I don't know if I could do it. I don't know what I would do. I don't want to be the coder. I really don't. I've never wanted to be the coder. However, I do know what I want to accomplish. And I've also experienced the challenge that people don't seem to be able to do the thing I want them to do. And I try. I mean, I will coach people on how to code. And, you know, in my day job, I don't code anymore. And I've learned how to give up on like the perfection of the solution that I want. But there's so many times where I say, okay, I'm going to have someone else work on this. And then I go back and look at the code and say, well, why did they do it this way? And I like cut out 5 lines of code or 10 lines of code and put one thing in, and it does exactly what I wanted to do. And so like, of course I'll let other people code, but there's just this weird thing where I can't find someone that will code the way I want them to. Wallaber is a mad lad who happens with when a great game designer gets S tier coding. Yeah, and his code is freaking disaster. If you read it, if you look at it, like, oh my God, look at all these if statements and ternary operators. But like the underlying structure is like chef's kiss. The way he thinks about how things fit together is amazing. And he's willing to copy paste, make something work, come back later, make it work better. I'm just not. Lean into the how. Yeah. Mine is my approach is write really complicated stuff first and then trim it down. Like write overly architected solutions and trim it down. And my over architecting is way less bad than it used to be. It took 3 years to use switch statements. Why do you consider switch statements to be good? I wouldn't consider that an upgrade. I'm glad it took you 3 years. This is their code, right? Game. Oh no, this is the ChatGPT stuff. I use ChatGPT to like take the existing Smile Game Builder code and start the process of creating this stupid thing. Okay, so I want to move camera. Here's what we're gonna do. Here's what we're gonna try. How am I gonna do this? We're gonna. Is there anything I need to do here? Owner, current map scene. Update. Camera settings. Okay, that's okay. I don't care about that. So I'm going to go to my travel controller. The enums I used to do big if-else's with them. Yeah, but the switch statement isn't better. A switch statement is a worse example of an if-else statement. At least with the if-else, you look at it and feel bad. Switch statement, you think, oh, you know, it's a switch statement. It's fine. Typically, then you get into like, why don't I just make a dictionary of my enums with my values of my things that I want? Like, oh, I want to call an action based upon the dictionary. My lookup. Maybe make a lookup. You can use a switch statement. I've lived it my whole life, Sympathy, ever since I've been coding. I know you do. and I want to be very clear about this. Not only are you not wrong, you're probably more right in any concept than I am. It's just like you're like in the right approach to writing things. For sure. There's no way in heck that my way is better. My way feels nicer for me, but it's not better. Although, to my credit, Wallaber can read my code. If Wallaber and I had like a code read off, if we gave each other's code and said, let's do something in it, I would be lost for days. Wallaber would be like, oh, I figured it out. Blah, 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 blah. Solved. It's right for me. I really don't think there is a universally better way. My code's readable. So that's the only thing I got going for me is my code is readable. Some of my structures are freaking confusing, and you have to follow the path down too many places, and that's obnoxious. Thanks for the follow, by the way. Whoa. I can't say that. Daub. NYF Sni-Fi. Readable code is chef's kiss. Right, but it doesn't mean the code's better, I guess. Okay, so on open window, when does this get opened? This gets opened. So this is the place where I determine the centroid and where I'm going to set the camera. So, okay. If all nodes are visible, I think this is going to produce a very weird result, but we're going to try it. So we're going to say current camera aim, and then current camera settings, movement duration. So we'll just try that and see if this works. Move. I need to go back here and also get an instance of it. So, move camera. Maybe we'll just make a move. Here we go. Public static void move. This is an interesting pattern that I've seen as well. Because it's a singleton. even though singletons are a bad programming pattern. It's game dev though, so YOLO. I just make static references to the methods, so then I don't have to do dot instance all the time. Probably an anti-pattern, but whatever. The only one who needs to read it is the computer. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, at some point, yeah, when ChatGPT is doing all the code writing and it's just trying to get you to tell it what you need to do, then you have to get really good at defining your requirement. I'll be curious, like someday there's going to be an IDE or programming system where it retains all of the source code and all you're doing is telling it what you need to do, and it's like adjusting the code to create the result. That'll be at a level where it can understand the entirety of the code and just make necessary adjustments to produce results. Another world of the bird. Hello. How are you? Another world. In a whole new world. Whole new world? Alterium Shift. Don't you dare close your eyes. Have you heard? The current window view reminds me of that game. Oh yeah, I thought that's what you were talking about. Although it was called something different on the SNES, wasn't it? It wasn't. Oh, it was called Another World. For some reason I thought it was called something else. Do you know the first time I got that game, I didn't get it. The beginning, when you like get zapped and then you're just falling, I'm just dying. And I just kept dying and dying, like, I don't understand what I'm supposed to do. And then I figured out I could move, and I'm like, oh, that's great. And in the first session, I keep dying. I'm like, this game's too hard. No way I will ever code the crud I come up with for games, so I better stay on top of my game. I don't believe the hype about AI taking over. It was pretty new for its time. It was great, though. I did play it and beat it. I still never figured out the sequence on the tank section. I just kind of got lucky. Mashed buttons until I got out of it. The game survived the time also, by the way. I even played it in yeah, I played it as an adult, and I enjoyed it just as much. I also played the other one. I don't remember the name of it, but I think it was like Flashback or something. It was a precursor or post. I can't remember. ChatGPT code. I mean, it will be able to at some point. Wait, what am I doing? This is not what I'm doing. I'm distracted. I'm trying to go to. Whoa, why is this? What is going on? Weird. Flashback. It came after. Okay. Yeah, it's fun games. I don't know if I'd ever make a game like that. I don't think I have the... Like, I liked the game, but I didn't play it I played it a few times, and then that was good. That was it. It also had a very Prince of Persia feel to it, because of the way you move. And the delay in movement, oh my god. Okay, so it worked. The camera worked. It was a little jarring, but it worked. Still something we can work on. My camera controller works. It's great. It was a good documentary. I probably saw it somewhere. I do remember watching something about the creation of it. It was, and I think there was some worry about whether the U.S. audiences would like it because it was made in, was it Japan first? Or, wherever it came from originally, there were some differences. And I think even the effort to make it work on the SNES because of the 3D stuff, or maybe it was fake 3D. France. I mean, I only vaguely recall what I watched about it because it was a while back. But I do remember watching something about it. What I find interesting about this is like, you kind of need to have these settings. But it would kind of make a lot of sense if you could just say, oh, I just want to change the distance and move it without having to get it and set it. Whatever. Total tangential, but going back to my point, the little Wallaber. First of all, Wallaber wouldn't even have this crap, right? Like he wouldn't be like, oh, let me see if I can make the setting system with the perfectly thing to called get current camera settings that's perfectly set up so to do exactly what I want. He'd be like, let's get the camera and change it, like make it go. But my brain immediately starts saying, man, every time I use the camera, I don't want to have to do this, multiple line thing to mess with it. I wonder if there's a way I can architect a better solution out of this. No, I'm not going to do that right now. But I find it funny the way my brain works around this. I'm going to make it take 2 seconds. That's like slicing hairs, but this is cool. Okay, I want to explain why this is cool. This camera controller. So in Smile Game Builder, which is the base engine this comes from here, when you want to move the camera, you've got to do like a camera command. There you go. Which is somewhere. I think it's here. Like camera control, right? So this is a set of settings to affect how the camera gets moved. And in this, you can actually even do things like, actually move it to a location, rotate it. So you can get your settings just by moving it around, right? But whatever the case is, how they do this, how they move the camera is by usurping, taking over the camera for Unity in the map scene. I think it's like Matrix. Create camera matrix. So in the update cycle that it's created, it does this create camera matrix where it goes through and does all this crazy math to figure out where the camera should be. And the problem is, because this is happening all the time, I literally can't test the camera. I can't go into Unity and like move the camera around because this code is constantly forcing the camera to be in a certain spot. I suppose I could do something that detaches it or something, but that's not going to help me any. And so I can't just get the Unity camera and do things with it. I literally have to work through this unless I want to completely rewrite all this code. And they've got different camera modes. So they've got normal mode, which follows an object, or they have like view mode. They have a different mode where it detaches from an object, or something, whatever. So the camera controller is a pretty big deal because now I'll be able to I can actually move the camera within the game while the game is playing without having to write code. It's a small thing because most people should be able to do that with Unity, but no. I like to make my life complicated. I like to make things a challenge. Because really, if there isn't a challenge, what are you even doing here? If it's not hard, why are we trying? So now I can do things like in the camera controller, in my inspector, I can actually mess with the values. It's like copy current camera settings. Oops. Why is it? Oh, turned it on. There you go. Why is it not giving me current camera settings? That's annoying. Yeah, I don't know why that part's not working. I'll fix that later. I miss Unity while working in Godot sometimes. Yeah, and I've toyed with the idea of learning Godot, but I don't know. I'm kind of a Unity guy. I'm all about that Unity. And now they removed their platform fee thing. Went back to how it was. Now everyone should love Unity again. And fully trust them. 100%. Unity is a fully trustworthy company. Okay, so I got the camera control working. I got the zoom out part working. I could even put at the end of that arc the zoom in thing. Let's see, what does it be like? Map effect. Well, what's really going to bake everybody's noodle with Godot is when they turn into Sun with Java. When some larger company offers them gobs of money that they can't refuse. And all of a sudden, this open source product that everyone's like, I love Godot because it's open source. And then some company's going to come in and they're going to buy it up. And sure, they're going to start with, sure, you still have a GPL license or whatever the open source is. And they're going to do other things to it. And then everyone's going to hate it. It's, you know, you can't just you can't fall behind one product and say, that's it. This is the perfect product that I'm going to trust for a lifetime. Because you never know when things are going to change. It is possible that it'll just be like Blender. But I don't know. I've had plenty of times in my career where I try to get behind something. Oh, this is really cool. And then it like either it fizzles because it's turned out to be crap, or it doesn't get adoption, or some other company comes in and buys it up and all of a sudden it goes from being completely free to, you know, premium. And they have these ones where it's like, oh yeah, our open source version, the community version, then our paid version, and the community version is more limited than the paid version. Anyway. I even made something in my camera thing that I can point to an object as a target. The follow first particle. Do I do anything with the camera anymore? No, I don't. Okay. So if follow first particle, then the particle is going to move. And where does it finish? Destroy particle game object. I don't understand how I meant to do this. Because this doesn't make sense, right? If it's the first particle, last point is the particle position. The camera works. So what is it doing then? Oh, I see. This is the ending, right? I get it now. Okay. This is just setting it to stop following, essentially. So then what I would want to do is this. This is going to be a little not as great, but I'm going to YOLO it for a second. I will stay fresh with Godot, but keep up with Unity. I want to stay employed in games. But at least I'll know 3 of Unity, Godot, and Unreal. I mean, have you yet found like a full-time gig in games? It's hard out there. It's a jungle out there. And man, game dev does not pay as well. At the same time, like I wish I could have general work days like I had today. Today I worked all day on game dev, and I liked it. I've never full-timed, but I have contracted. I worked my entire Saturday on game dev, and I liked it. And I can imagine my day job being working on game dev. The problem is, like, I don't. if I had to get a job in game dev, I wouldn't want to be a developer because I've already gone through my career as a developer. I want to be able to be in the code and know the code. But I'd want to be able to manage people, not just write code. The only way I'd want to write code daily is if I was doing my project. So I don't care. The position's already set, so I don't really care about that. So then we're going to say camera settings dot distance. We'll say 10 just for the fun of it. See what happens. And camera settings. And what is it? Movement duration. And we'll make the movement duration like. Let's see how fast we can get in there. Don't need to rotate yet. So we can just do. Why? I can't access it. Is this static context? But why would that matter? Oh, move, not move camera. Almost got a job at Respawn. I'm manifesting either Niantic or Riot. What job boards are you looking at? Sympathy, send me information. I'm on the opposite end. If I were, let me see if I can say this right. It might be easier for me to get a job as a developer in game dev. But given that my current job is chief technology officer, I couldn't take a step down to game dev in terms of just career and salary. I can't do that for many reasons. If I was going to take a haircut on my pay, I'd rather somehow get funding to work on Alterium Shift. Looking out for a game design data analytics role, both these companies are the only ones that have those kind of teams, I think. Well, the other problem is in game dev, the pool of available jobs is smaller, way smaller than just, other dev jobs. LinkedIn and WellFound are the only two job boards I watch. Okay. WellFound used to be called something else. Angel something. I still get emails from WellFound. Okay, Gilberry Fork, Grand Valley, still happens. I did recompile, right? Yes. Yes, I did. Okay, so that is too slow. That's okay. Oh, that's great. It's funny that this is even enabled and it's working for the camera movement. Okay, so 0.25 might be a little too fast. And 10 might be a little too close. Angel list, yeah, that's what it was. Oh my god. Mawixi. Hope I said that right. How are you? How was your stream? It's nice to see you. You don't normally get a chance to raid me. Usually I'm raiding you. How goes game dev? Are you stuck in pre-roll? I'm guessing. Oh, okay, you weren't. I don't know if the raiding party, the person, it gets stuck in pre-roll ads or not. It was fun. No, I'm here, not stuck. Good. How is your game dev learning journey going? You just finished raiding, so also you could say, here's the project I'm working on, and bye. So if you want to share anything that you're working on, by all means. And welcome, raiders. I'll try to take care of you. This is the game I'm working on, by the way. Alterium Shift. No learning for me. You're just done? Have you learned all the things you need to learn? Is that what... Or were you playing a game tonight? What does it say you were doing? Let's see. Can I shout you out? What were you doing? You're the chick who won't quit. You were just chatting? You were just chatting and playing a game, right? Is that what you're doing? Or Itch Gems, yeah. Itch.io. It's a funny name. Do I have a way to fade my screen? How does screen fade work? I'm really enjoying doing crap. Okay, so I do. Do this. Fade screen. No, so this is their old way. Okay. So I'd have to find a way to fade out using their method. Just yapping. Yapping and gaming. So wait, but you're still learning, right? You just didn't learn today. It's not like you've given up on the whole learning thing. That's all I remember you from is rating you when you were working on some of your early days of learning game dev, or maybe you were like 6 months into it. I can't remember how long. Oh, you don't learn on stream anymore? Kappa. Got tired of everyone's opinions on how well you were learning? Because that happens a lot. Can I do this? Ooh, look at this. Does this work without variables? Looks like it does. Ooh, that's awesome. Okay, so I should be able to steal this. Where would I put it, though? This is script runner. I might be able to get away with this. Screen effects, I think it's called. We don't talk about those peeps. We don't talk about Bruno. No. You know, I still never played a horror game. Really? I played a pixel horror game that was terrifying. It was called... Let's see, what was it? I don't even remember the name of it, except to like look at all the different games I have. Beyond Eyes? No, that's not it. That's not a horror game at all. BioShock was kind of scary. This is kind of it's not specifically a horror game, but it was scary. No, I played one that was a 2D world one that I found to be quite scary. I'm pretty sure it's in my Steam list because it's the only thing I would ever buy games with. Fall Guys. This one was fun. The Final Station. Have you ever played this? This is like a pixel side scroller that's more story based, but it's like, you know, apocalyptic. I thought this was really fun. Totally unrelated to me getting work done right now. I liked Inside. Inside's not really horror, but it, you know, I like these type of story-driven games. It's like, you know, it 3D for the ambiance, but it's really just a 2D game. Or is it ambiance? What do you say? Kingdom was fun. This is unrelated to me doing work, just to be clear. Lone Survivor. This one. Oh man, this one was scary. It's a pixel game, like a pixel style, but it was just scary to go anywhere. It's a pixel game. Why would a pixel game be scary? But Lone Survivor was it was rough. I never finished it. I love horror games. A great excuse to scream at peeps. I never played Five Nights at Freddy's though. Fade. What is it called? Is it called Fade? Yeah. Fade Screen Legacy. We'll take all that stuff. Async. I don't really care about that right now, but we'll just see. Wait frame. Oh yeah, we have. Wait, did I use this somewhere? Let me see this. It's just setting the screen color. That's literally all it is. That's all it is. I should be able to do this. Hold on. Fade out. Fade to. Do God. My I just can't believe myself sometimes. Fade code routine. Oh right, no, because it was ChatGPT because of being lazy. Estatica. What is Estatica? Is that a terrifying game? So all this is doing a set screen color over time. So I should be able to fit this into my class. What I'm going to do, but I'm going to do the lazy way. This is where I get lazy. This is where, you know, if you think about like the differences between me and he who shall not be named. Another really talented coder I know. Oh no, is it doing the thing again? No, it isn't. I am perfectly okay with having something else give me the answers. Below is the code. The last method from older system. All I really need is a way to colors and set screen color method. Sure, it's really simple. How would I do it really simply? Color method. Does it lerp the colors? What does it do? They like hand lerp it or something. Yeah, they just like hand lerp it. Lerpy derp 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 derp. Color like I did with new way. Can you help rewrite the fade color to the reference to owner is the same as game main. Let's see what I can do with this. Oops. Uses ellipsoids for what are ellipsoids? I saw Markiplier play FNAF. It was a clip and my heart skipped 2 beats. I think I used to watch the Let's Play from Achievement Hunter. I think that's where I first saw FNAF get played. FNAF. I've never played Five Nights at Freddy. Horror games are not my thing. I should make a horror game because I probably wouldn't be bad at it given how much I hate playing them. Not that I hate them. I just don't want to play a game to get scared. I like to play a game to get challenged or frustrated or intrigued or like engaged in story and happy, sad, all the emotions, but scared is not one of them. The scariest games I played are more like the thriller ones. Not the actual scary ones. I mean, Half-Life was scary to me. You know what I'm saying? Half-Life was a scary game. So, game main, that's fine. Instant set screen color. So we just have to convert the color into a different color. How does this do it? Sorry. Oh, is that all this? Screen color? Oh my god. Okay, whatever. So all we gotta do is convert it into the Microsoft XNA thingy. So there. New this thing. Come on, you can do it for me. We got this. There you go. Thanks, Copilot. What's target color then? Where does this come from? Ensure the final color is set. So that's this one right here. Okay. So we lerped, and at the end we set it. So we're gonna do. And nope, I don't like shortcut names. Sorry, I'm all about readability. Half-Life's pretty creepy, lore-wise at least. I'd rather something just kill me, not disfigure me. Well, I just remember the very first time I played Half-Life, this will date me, but in 1999, after high school. And just the first head crab you run into, because all you have is a crowbar, and you have to go through this dark room, and I was like, I can't move. I can't go anywhere. I hear it. It's around there somewhere. It's going to get me. Oh, man. And Half-Life 2? Oof. That one Ravenholm or whatever it's called? Jeez. That was like, that was bad. So let's see. Can I do serialized mono behavior? Oh, weird. I guess I have a way to get the instance. How do I do the instance? I should probably like figure this out. So we're gonna do packing rules. Public, no, private, static, void. Gotta do that. Try Half-Life Alyx. I haven't played that one. I don't have a VR though, so that makes it a little harder. Okay, so now I have a fade screen method. The wait frame. What does wait frame do? This is just like how long it's gonna wait. Wait a minute. I don't want it to convert it. I want this to be seconds. So it was 1 divided by 60. Convert frames to seconds. No. I want it to be seconds. So I'll do... I want it just to be duration. Just pass it in, right? I'm sure there's actually a smarter way to do that. How do I do it with the other ones? Duration. That's radial transition, though. Fade to do fade. Oh my god. I can't believe how hopelessly crazy this is. Duration. What do we do for our duration? Elapsed time divided by duration. What do we do here? Okay, yeah, so that's fine. Float T. Oh, that's so cute. I'm so glad you did that. Okay. Factor it. Okay. So let's see if we can do that. Fade screen legacy. And we'll just do it to black. I'll probably change it to have like just fade out and fade in. Why don't I do now color though? Now color would be... We don't need now color. I don't care about now color. Now color is going to be whatever the current screen color is. So we're going to do that. Oh. There we go. Is there a way to get the current screen color here? Public color, which is going to be, is it system drawing? What does it use in Unity? What is the color here? Everything is color, so you just never know. No, not that color. God bless it. Uni engine. Core module. Okay, so Uni engine color. Let's get our color on, baby. That's not Uni engine. That's not. Why is there not a Uni engine color? Fancy color. Ooh. It's time to get fancy. No. Why would you give me color 32 but not regular color? Uni engine dot color. Cannot resolve symbol. What are the... New... Oh, so that new works. That's weird. But screencolor.r does not exist. What does it convert it to? RGBA. So is that how you start a new color though? Oh, right. I remember now. It's not that they don't exist. It's just they're uppercase versus lowercase. Always got to be different. This is just, the color, it's all the converting of things. Whatever, it works. We're good. Everything's good. No problems here. We're fine. Nope. I wanted a capital screen color, please. Thank you. All right. This theoretically will work. So then I'm going to go into the game map effect thing. Map node effect. And I suppose, regardless, well, I don't really want to start fading here, but for the moment, I am, just because I want to see it work. This is not the place to put this, but it is in terms of me trying to test this. Fade screen legacy. The target color is going to be new color. I think that's what we want to go to. Black, right? Take a second to get there. 0 is black. I think. Only one way to find out. I did not mean to stream past 11. Past my screen time. It's a cloud over my face. Someday I should do something with this avatar thing. I have like 80 some odd characters here. You think I could figure out something useful to do with that besides just a bunch of characters running around the screen? Any day now. It's fine. We're just waiting. I can get the fade out. I think that will be the base functionality I was trying to get done. And then I actually have one of my contractors who I said, hey, go make this prettier. Make this work better, please. It'll be a good stopping point. I can say I got things done today. It could almost be like that little Wallaber on my shoulder. Wallaber light. Wallaber's also really good at teaching people stuff. He's like, see what you got here is, so here's what's going on. And he'll just be like, boo, 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 let me tell you all this smart stuff. See, the fade worked perfectly. Never seen a better fading. Zero is faded out, right? There was no fade. Why was there no fade? Let's go back to our screen fade. Screen effects. Fade screen. I don't need the enumerator. Oh, wait. I would need to... Wait, what? I would need to call it as a coroutine. It should have still worked, though, right? Oh no, yield return null. I didn't call it. I have to call it as a coroutine. So we'll do this. Public void fade out. And then float. Oh, come on. Copilot, trying to be smart. All right, Toke, have a good night. Fading is life. Fade away. Fade away, fade away. I saw some XNA stuff when I joined. Swapping from XNA? Well, Kulex, more than that, actually. Our game, the core of our game, I don't know if you saw the actual... You must have seen the pictures of the game, but... when we started 3 years ago, we started by my partner building most of the work in Smile Game Builder. Primarily because the map engine and the editor there is nicer, and there's like, it just kind of comes with a bunch of out-of-the-box stuff. And it exports into Unity, but their stuff is all XNA. Unity's not XNA, but they've like Frankenstein bolted their system into Unity, so there's a lot of need to like swap things from one thing to the next. It's really annoying, but whatever. Actually, I think I just do color.black, right? Yeah. Why was I even doing numbers? So that works. Perfect. That's all I need to do. You're all I need to get by. So there's a lot of things I have to do where I'm like working with two different systems at the same time. I'm totally fine with that though. Like my whole career has been in, SaaS based developments. So I just, normal. normal expectations is having to deal with this sort of crap. You get it, Kulex. I assume you come from a SaaS background. And my whole career has been picking up framework. I've been in multiple startup companies, so I've had to pick up like the homebrew solution people make. And 9 times out of 10, especially when I've had to come in, whoever was there before me had no sense of programming patterns, practices, or frameworks. I'm sassy, but I do not know SaaS well. Software as a service. It's just a product that has some kind of web portal that you log into, or maybe you don't log into to use. I mean, Twitter is software as a service, Blue Sky or whatever. All those things are just SaaS products. They can be mobile too, right? But it's just some software that you're providing a service with. There's a lot of SaaS stuff. There's also a CSS, like a enhanced CSS called SaaS. So there's a lot of reused acronyms in the industry, for sure. I think I recompile it. Oh, that's not good. Upgrading save system to new format. How'd that start happening? That shouldn't be happening. The current company I'm in, when it's not a startup anymore because now it's just in like revenue building mode. When I came into the company, the guy who made the product didn't use version control, and everything was in GoDaddy. It was PHP, still is PHP, but it was then too. And the way he version control were different file names. Look at that. It all faded out. Perfect. Exactly what I wanted it to do. This is incidentally why I shouldn't have put the code in here. Where is it? There. No. I need to put this in here because I'm a dum-dum. Okay. I guess one might be too much. We'll see. BRX. Sounds like a nightmare. Oh, it was great. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was great. And to this day, there are still commits, like if you go to annotate, that have my name on it. And they'll be like, who wrote this stuff? Oh, Mati did. In 2017. Oh, it's worth... No. Kulex, your convention there is way better. It's more like... page loader first version, page loader second, page loader X1, 2. And you're like, what the frick one is the new one? And, oh, even better, their method of uploading was to drag files in FTP to get it into production. God, it's so bad. I mean, they can make changes real fast. It was great. So when I first started at the company, at CTO, then too, I had a part to play, but I also had a team to manage. So myself and others took the effort to put it in the Git, turn it into an enterprise level product, get it into AWS, create an automated build process. Oh, wait. Here's the even better part. There were no frameworks at the time. So you had 3,000 line PHP files that had mixed HTML and PHP. There was no entity framework of any sort. Well, PHP would be like Doctrine or whatever. I mean, anything. It was all just like direct SQL requests. Zero sanitation on the data. Oh, it was no front-end framework. I mean, I'm getting like a sick feeling in my stomach just remembering what that was like. It was bad. Worked at some place like that early in my career. Yeah, and having been through that a couple times, Visual Basic, yeah, well, I don't know which one's worse. I've had to go through it a couple times, and it's not so bad. It's just a lot. That's all. Okay, so the fading stopped because the scene is trying to change. So I would need to prevent the scene from changing or just fade out faster, which I don't really want to do. So it kind of has to be something that's able to continue running even though the scene has started to change. And maybe I should just not change the scene until the fading happens. What did I do here? I think I called something that like on complete. Okay. So then I would need to do like a waiter, I guess. Something that would just, I don't know. It's not super important. I made a fade. The fade would work in theory. I'm just not, making it work. I make it take a second. I bet you if I make it take like 0.75 seconds, it'll be fine. It's a lot. Agree. My first company out of college kept all their CAD and assembly files in Google Drive. And the names and dates had dates with the version control. I think the best thing I ever saw a place had apparently got SQL injected before I'd been hired. And so they written a script called SQL Quantum and imported in every other script. Oh my God. Because they couldn't tell which scripts were still in use. I'm lucky then. Couldn't have been. Oh, my first job was at a consulting company on early 2000s. And they worked with like the International Olympic Committee, and the database was the business logic. So all of the business logic of the product, because the International Olympic Committee does a lot of advertiser stuff, and so they have to like have all these forms for the advertisers to fill out and all the data stuff. And the entire business logic was stored procedures. And so this problem we're talking about with like files and how files are managed, imagine that in like an Oracle database with 200 stored procedures with no guarantee which ones are actually used. Because the same thing, like one would be something, something, something one, something, something, something real version, something, something, something new. And they're stored procedures, so it's not like code that you step through. Trying to debug that stuff was a nightmare. That was the worst thing. Oh, and even better. As part of your current job. Ooh, that sounds even worse. They didn't have regular backups of their database. This database that was used internationally, thousands of users that are focused on all the money that goes into, sponsoring the Olympics. And the backups there were no scheduled regular backups. So they had me working on the system, and so, every developer should have one story to tell about when they completely effed things up. And preferably, it's not one that like is career ending. Your job is store procedure with SQL jobs. Oh my gosh. Task runner. Okay. Yeah. We use that too. And one of the common problems is people would get locked out of their machines. Or what was it? What was I doing? No, it wasn't even that. I was testing something that I needed to log in as a test user. And so in the way you log in as a test user, or as whatever, you change the password of that user to something you can remember, like password, for instance, because back then you there was no encryption at rest for systems nor for databases, so you didn't hash and salt your passwords in your database. It was just plain text. So go in and go, oh, young Matzi early in his career, insert update blah 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 record, set password to password. And one day I was working and I did that, but I didn't qualify the update method. And the person in charge of the IOC was really hard on us as a company. He was just really always looking for a reason to bash us and complaining about the way we manage things. And I don't blame her really. But okay, I'll worry about how the fading works. I can figure out how to get the fade to work offline. Anyway, so I'm trying to fix something, moving too fast. I didn't have it set up as a transaction. So in databases, you can like test the transaction first before you run it. Just start running it. I'm like, why is it taking so long to run? And I was using like it was Microsoft SQL. It wasn't Oracle. It was Microsoft database. And I'm seeing the rows increase. And I'm like, oh no, stop. And I think it got to like 1,500 rows or maybe 2,000 rows. I don't know, it went really fast. So I changed everybody's password to password, basically. And then I was like, oh, crap. And I called in like the chief architect, like, you need to help me. And like, oh, we'll just pull a backup. Nope. The last backup was taken by me manually 2 weeks in the past. Because I was working on something. Oh, I should take a backup of this. There were no automated backups. And so me and this guy, the architect, spent 4 hours. And he was showing me his Excel skills. Because what he ended up doing was going 2 weeks in the past and try to restore as many passwords as possible. To retrieve them and then he was showing me some techniques to use. Like if you're going to work in a product, incidentally, why would I have direct access to a production environment? Junior developer, whatever. So showing me all these things like, oh, if you're going to write a query to update data in production, the first thing you do is write a select query and validate the data you get back. And then you change that query to an update query. And then even then, if it's really sensitive, you put it in a transaction. So you run the transaction first to see if it only changes things you want. And then you commit the transaction. So I learned a lot that day. Of vital importance is if you're ever working in a production environment, you don't just measure twice. You measure like 20 times. Like there's this like inbuilt fear I have now. Anytime I work in any system that is production ready or whatever, that I just have to check it like quadruple times. Look again and look at and double check and triple check and quadruple check. It's just like never doing that again. On the plus side, as a junior dev, when the question inevitably came up where someone said, yeah, why didn't we have regular backups? That wasn't on me. There was like some hint that they wanted to blame me for that, but I was a pretty good developer for them. Yeah, I've learned. I assumed there were automatic backups. I wasn't in charge of the project. Basically, they had gone through layoffs and they fired the experts on that project and they left me behind. And they were only going to give me like a piddly raise. I think at that time I was getting paid $50,000 a year. And after they laid everybody off, they gave me a raise to $55,000. And this was the one time. Okay, I'm going on tangents, but this is the one time in my career I realized, and people don't always learn this, that if you don't advocate for yourself, nobody will. Because I thought, oh good, my raise time is coming up. I'm going to get a good raise. And no, I got nothing. And I was like, they just laid off a bunch of people that were paid multiple percentages higher than me. Now they're giving me all those senior people's work. And they're giving me a $5,000 raise. I was like, you guys need to pay me more. and I told them exactly how much they needed to pay me. And I said, if you don't want to, fine. I'm going to just go somewhere else. They did make me write a justification, so I gave them the 3-page document to tell them all the projects I've worked on and what I accomplished. And then they gave me what I said they should. And they promoted me to a mid-level, paid me at the mid-level salary, because I think that's where I was at that point. And then I moved up from there. So every time when I talk to developers about career growth, and it's hard because not everybody, I've learned recently, that's not how people think. But from that point on, this is my first experience with it. And from that point on, that's exactly how I operated. Every time I work hard, I would come into work, sit down, work freaking 8 hours, crush it, and leave. Takes on multiple seniors worth of work, gets promoted to mid-level. Yeah, I don't recall if I got promoted to senior or not. I think it was still mid-level because of the step. Because it was only my first year. Okay, it was my first year working, but from context perspective, I got out of high school, went into the Marine Corps for 4 years. Then I went into college after that. So by the time I started my first job in my career, I was 24 or 25. I think I was 25, something like that. How old was I? Born in 81. 2006? Yeah, so it was like 25 or 26. I was between 25 and 26. So it was like, I was equivalent to these days, people like me would be people who go to boot camp. They go get a career somewhere else, and then they go to a coding boot camp and come out. I've always wanted to code. My whole life I've been working on coding. And so I wasn't an expert in the field, but I had a lot of inbuilt experience from just doing things. I'm just laughing at the nerve of the higher ups to pull it off. Yeah, well, Nirwanda, thank you for the follow. I mean, this is the thing. And this is what I tell people. Even as a CTO, I tell people who report to me, oh, thanks, BRX Athartic. Brixathartic? Is that how you say it? Brixathartic? Even as a CTO, I tell people who report to me that, I advocate for people who report to me. So I'm reverse. So some people are they have to push for themselves. I'm actually pushing people to grow, and they're not everybody's ready for it. Right? I'm trying to get people up to the next level always. But I always tell them you have to realize that even if everyone has the best intention for you, we don't know what you want or where you want to be unless you verbalize it, unless you advocate for yourself. And so my entire career, that's all I've ever done. I've always advocated for myself. The bigger problem I've run into is I've had plenty of managers and bosses and companies where the people who I was reporting to were not competent. They didn't know how to manage. They didn't know how to coach me. And I'd say, tell me what I need to do. What do I need to do to get to my next level? And it was always not helpful. And even when I checked all the boxes, it would be a struggle to get, moved up. So, part of the reason I like startup companies is because you can move faster. But it's just, not everybody's driven that way, though. One of my, he doesn't report to me now because he works in a different department. But I still talk to him. One of these guys that I actually hired ages ago. Sort of enlightened me that he only really cares about solving he likes solving problems and having tough problems to solve. If incidentally he has to get promoted to do that, great, but he's not driven to get promoted or to grow. Wonderful outlook. Having good mentorship has always been the best roles. You're not derailing me. I'm done. I've gotten to the point where my code, I've solved the major bug, but now I have to figure out how to get out. I've got some core functionality in place, so I don't have any more mental capacity for that. So I'm okay with being distracted now, fully distracted. I like being in a mentorship role, but I also say it's amazing to me how hard it is to get a lot of people to move. And then you get the reverse problem where there's people who believe they are better than they demonstrably are. And that is a huge challenge to deal with. because I do want to support growth and help people to their roles, but there are like requirements. You've got to be able to achieve what is required of a given role to move up. And some people think it should just be handed to them. It's like, listen, by the objective and subjective measures we have, by the qualitative and quantitative metrics, here's where you sit. And where you sit is you're doing your job, good work. There's a lot of people who think that just doing your job justifies promotions. Like, that's not how that works. I was able to grow in my role and get to my level because I was willing to take on things beyond what was assigned to me in my job. I would see an opportunity or a need. And so in addition to getting the work done that I needed to get done, I would take on more. And there's some of that like anti-work thing these days where people are like, oh, we shouldn't give more to the company than they're giving us. But there's some companies suck. And even if you gave more, they wouldn't give back to you. My company isn't. The company I work for right now, that's not how we operate. We will support people's growth for sure. But not all companies do. So I get it. But at the same time, businesses pay you for your job that you do. And if you want to rise above that, you've got to show some kind of hunger to rise above it. It doesn't just get handed to you. Your job should justify not getting fired. Well, then there's a whole like work just hard enough not to get fired. Only senior staff here, software engineer here. Can't say I currently have the same quality CTO as you seem to be, but I kind of love mentoring because it's so much more fun to work with highly skilled teams. Yes, I just enjoy it, which is why I would take on extra stuff. Employers see that and promote me because of it, not after the promotion. Not after it. Yeah. You're similar to the person that I know. The problem is, even if you're not after it, you somewhat have to let people know, I want to get paid more, right? Like, I like solving problems and I will invest in this company, but I want the company to invest in me. And to do that, like, if you are clearly a top performer, you need more. You can't just do your job all the time. You need someone pushing you to grow, or to help the company, or to expand, or to keep your interest, or whatever, right? And things could look, I mean, I like mentoring people too. I don't necessarily need to mentor senior people. I've actually had a lot of success taking people who are junior or like junior out of boot camp, but have some experience, and coaching them into really high levels. Actually, my biggest success right now at our company is our newest director. She started as junior. She's really stinking young though. I mean, she's like 27 or something, and she's a director now. But she's amazing. And I can't take all the credit for her amazingness, but I did recognize it and kind of kept pushing her to take on more because she wanted to. My biggest problem, my interesting thing is like one of my techniques, it used to be a problem, but I learned how to harness it. If someone says they want more and I would keep giving them more and more and more, and then they would break. So now I use it as a technique like, oh, you want more? Okay, let me see how much I can give you. And then let's find the line and figure out what you can actually do. And then once we find that line, we can figure out how to inch you back up to, the level that I think you could get to. Because it can be overwhelming, right? I mean, it's just, there's a lot of things that you can worry about. And there's also the straight up fact that sometimes you just have to have experience. No matter how talented you are, no matter how good you are at solving problems or coding or helping people or whatever. Sometimes it just comes down to you do need a certain amount of experience to achieve a certain level. Just because there's too many things out there to have just to know, right? You can't just hit every situation and suddenly be an expert at it. Which is why, one of the things people look for are like senior level roles is years of experience, because at least it tells you they're likely to have encountered a lot of different things to learn from. I will say this though, from my experience, if someone has 10 plus years, that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to come in and be a rock star. It doesn't mean they won't be, but like years of experience has like a diminishing return. Somebody who's been a senior something for 10 years or a manager something for 10 years or 12 years or 20 years, that doesn't suddenly mean, okay, everyone at 20 years is going to be just a complete amazing person. You could have 10 years at the PHP shop. The PHP shop? You could have 10 years exposed at that PHP. You could have 10 years at that PHP shop. Oh, I see. Yeah. And the thing is that if you get the shop that does PHP for clients, what is that PHP shop? Are you talking about where I work? I got on a rambling tangent and now I don't know. Yeah, but I mean, there are those, like, PHP developers are interesting. I've hired people, well, I've interviewed people who've had that many years of PHP and they don't know anything. Oh yeah. So, if you're just doing PHP and you're not trying to learn like shell scripting or other things, you're never going to go anywhere. Yeah. So it's an interesting experience. Like, the people that are amazing, the rock stars, those people are hard to get. So if anybody, is easy to find, if they're like a 15-year plus person and they're like, oh yeah, I'm good, and my salary range is like completely within the salary band, sadly, that might be a red flag. You can find diamonds in the rough, but someone with 15 years experience is like, I'll take, something on the low end of the salary band, either means they undervalue themselves or there's a reason that they're looking, right? Because the rock stars are the ones that you have to snipe. You got to pay lots of money and that can run circles around you on these technical problems. And also understand fundamentally that if you're in a senior role, you can't do all the work. So you have to be able to work on a team and mentor or do team lead responsibilities. You don't have to be a manager, but you do have to be able to work with others, help them with architecture, thinking through software problem solving, and so on. I always end up asking people about that stuff. Ironically, because I'm streaming and I'm not having a two-way conversation, I do all the talking. But when I'm in an interview, if I ever interview somebody and I say, tell me about your experience, like, tell me about your experience and how you think it applies to this job, right? It's like a general, broad question. And 10 minutes later, they're still talking about their experience. It's a bad sign. I would expect a 2-minute maybe monologue where someone says, well, let me just summarize it and you can tell me where you want to know more, right? Because the people who have real experience are able to take something complex and turn it into simple. Why use many word when few word do, right? Anyway, interviews should probably be more of a conversation usually. I think there's a give and take. And I'm not I would say that I could be considered an expert interviewer for the way I do things, but not the foremost expert on interviews. Some people still believe you need to do like logical tests for developers to see if they know how to solve, FizzBuzz problems on the fly. I never look for that. I always look for people who have an interest in learning and have an understanding that in order to get better at something, you can't just bring your current knowledge to the table. So I always try to understand, how did you learn what you got to get here? What are some of the gotcha moments you've had? Where do you feel like you've really succeeded and why? What was your biggest, if you were to go back and say, this is my crowning achievement, this is the thing I really did great at. All of those things have told me more about someone than my technical tests, which I still do. I still like to quiz people on technical things. because one thing that tells me if someone is a learner is if I ask questions that I learned the hard way and they know the answer, it means they learned the hard way. One of my favorites is like, in PHP, tell me the difference between a required and a default or optional function parameter or method parameter, I think it's saying. And that's a simple question because nowadays it's more common, but back then, optional parameters are just ones that you set a default to, right? So that you don't have to pass them in. And I can't tell you how many people who claim to be senior didn't know the answer to that. Or I would even say, okay, is there any importance in the order of them? Yeah. In PHP, they call it default or an optional parameter. In other languages, I think I don't know what they call them. They call them default. The terminology is different, but it's all the same idea. Yes, but you've seen the concept in other languages, right? C# does it. So it's a more common thing than it used to be. Because other languages, object-oriented programming languages, would tend in the past to recommend overriding your methods, not using optional parameters. C# is going more the way of PHP, actually. It's kind of funny, it's like a convergence. But when I ask those questions of people, that tells me what they've learned. Like, what have you learned about the language you use? It's not a quiz to know whether you know knowledge. It's a quiz to see if you've learned things. And there's just, I can't tell you how many senior people I've interviewed that don't know the difference between an interface and an abstract class. And I don't think that should be quiz knowledge. I think that should be something that if you're a senior person, you know it generically because you've what is this interface thing? How can I use it to help me solve my problems better? What about abstract classes? They're constructs that are so common. Or the static. What does it mean to have something in static context? Again, whether they can solve FizzBuzz doesn't matter to me at that point. If they don't know the basic concept of the language and they're 15 years in coding, it tells me that all they do is just whatever was in front of them to solve their problem. Maybe they make good game developers. Which is not derogatory because game developers, you're supposed to solve problems. As I was saying earlier, I try to engineer every problem I solve, which takes longer. And doesn't always result in a better outcome than I could have done just solving it quickly. Although, to be fair, demonstrably, people who have 20 years of experience, like Wallaber, who I keep mentioning, he does follow good practices sort of intuitively from his years of experience. So it's not just that he just writes code to solve it. He's had enough experience that he can solve things properly. Ooh, year-end's streaming. Year-end. All right, anyway, I think I'm going to wrap up, do a little raid. We're going to go check out year-end. I think it's errand. I don't know. I always get flummoxed by it. Thanks all for hanging out. And thanks again to Captain Coder for the raid. Did I even shout out Captain Coder? No, whatever. Kulix, thanks for chatting. I'll be back on Tuesday. I was supposed to do other things besides Alterium Shift, but whatever. I liked it. Thanks, Bird, for the follow. And I'll be back on Tuesday. I will be doing more Alterium Shift. I'm probably going to pick up the fishing game on Tuesday. I'm going to try getting that sheet finished because I want that to be finished. The new fishing game. So that'll be coming. So I'll see you all later. Have a great night. Great rest of your weekend. Oh no, Aaron's doing... Oh, he's doing his workout. Well, we're going to raid him while he's working out. So YOLO. He normally codes, but he's doing bench presses. Sorry, guys. I didn't do it fast enough. All right. Anyway. OMG, you're here and I'm going. Hopefully he'll catch the raid. He's going to be squatting. Sorry. Have a good night.